you were in the middle of controversy in the last week, 10 days or so.
Yeah.
Just mired with death threats and an entire community at your neck. And it stemmed from this tweet.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you've talked about this quite at length, but
Yeah.
I don't quite understand what about this tweet was causing death threats to you, and why was it viewed 500,000 times?
Yeah. So look, I've talked about it extensively, and people keep on like, why do you keep talking about it, Camelott? I'm like, because people keep asking me about it. But like, so basically, that's a girl. Her name's PDH on all socials. I've said this 100 times, and then people keep on with the conspiracy. But I did this joke where obviously I said caught a girl at my house that is definitely not Pippa taking pics of my kitties. And the punchline of the joke is saying it's definitely not Pippa and also showing a girl that is definitely not Pippa. That's the funny part. It's like definitely, and a lot of people have done this since then, trolling it. And also, well, there's other factors around it. But anyways, that's the joke. And I didn't think anything of it. And then I like went out and went to the gym and did, whatever. And then like Pippa quote tweeted it and was like, don't do this. Like she said, LOL, this isn't me. Don't do this. This could cause legal trouble for creators, VTuber creators, because not me. Because people were like, she threatened to sue you. I'm like, no, she was saying that she could get in legal trouble, not me. Because she has worked with me in the past. Therefore, that opens like a door. What if people actually believe it's her? Blah, blah, blah. And then people are saying I doxed her, which it's not her. So no, I didn't. But
wait. So there's a difference between doxing and showing somebody, which you didn't do. You didn't show her. It's not really her.
No.
And so people took that. So it would have been nothing, but had Pippa just kind of like let it be, it probably would have been fine.
Maybe no.
Wait, does she have like a contract that she can't show herself as part of a VTuber?
Yeah. Well, so for VTubers, it's breaking the illusion. Like their fans, a large portion of them are totally normal ass people that are watching this show right now, like normal people. And I watch Pippa. I think she's great. She's a great creator and great entertainer. But a lot of the fans, legitimately are in like this weird like self-delusion state where they think these girls are like 12-year-old girls or 13-year-old girls that actually don't brush their teeth and actually have social anxiety and actually are missing teeth and actually don't bathe, and like they're like, what I'm saying, like they actually think all that and they like masturbate to it. It's really weird. It's fucking crazy. So those people got a hold of, they saw the tweet obviously, and then it was all over these message boards for like 3 days straight, like maximize thread limits just for 3 days straight. People were like zooming in on my friend's hand, trying to say, trying to say, like, see if it was Pippa, all that weird shit. And I even clarified in the tweet. Granted, it was still kind of jokey where I said, they were like, can you clarify if this is Pippa? And I was like, it's definitely not Pippa, as stated before, because that's the joke. But anyways, Pippa messaged me, and she understood that it was a joke. She was like, hey, look, like I get it, like LOL, but there's a lot of people watching me that are gonna be like freaking out, and like, because she understands, like you don't get to be that good of a creator and that entertaining without understanding, who's watching you, right? So the fandom's pretty wild. It's a little bit different from people that watch just normal, like us, like you, like Black, way different people. Like these people are, there's a large portion of them that are in parasocial relationships. Like they project a relationship onto the VTuber creator where they think, it's hard to say that. I don't want to say they legitimately think it, but maybe they do, where they think that they're in a relationship with this person, so they have to defend this person. A lot of people will have my back. A lot of people did not. It was whatever. I enjoyed the whole process. But anyways, so this FaZe reached out to, she said she was talking to her management about it. This was like 3 a.m. by the way.
Wait. So hold on. She's talking to her management about your tweet because people were like,
I was talking to her at the same time. We were like talking back and forth, and she was saying, hey, look, I'm talking to my management.
Okay, but I don't understand what is there to talk about? Like, I guess this is Heir apparent says, Craig, think of it as WWE kayfabe and how WWE owns the quote names of their talent.
Well, of course. So yeah, the FaZe owns everything. They own the Pippa character, the Pippa name, the Pippa channel, everything about it. They own every. So if Pippa left FaZe and created a new like character, it could not have anything to do with this Pippa character. No, it couldn't be a bunny. All that stuff, right?
When you say FaZe, you mean like FaZe Clan?
FaZe Connect is her management company.
Okay. FaZe. You're not FaZe PHASE. Got it.
I was gonna say FaZe. Like I was like, what?
Okay.
Yeah. And they own everything. So technically, posting a picture that is not her, but people might think is her, could somehow violate her contract. Which that if that was true, that just shows how predatory these organizations are. And I've talked about this in the past. You know, like they keep a giant portion of their income, like 50% of their income, Hololive. You're getting 30% taken from YouTube. You're getting 30% taken from Apple. Some of these people that are making $400,000 a year are bringing home like 30 or 40, maybe less, and their management companies get the rest. Right. So it's predatory, man. It is. And I get it. But these companies have helped a lot of these creators kind of get their foothold, and maybe it'll prep them for when they become solo. But that's neither here nor there. Basically, I posted the picture, and a lot of people thought I did it maliciously for some reason, even though me and Pippa are boys. And me and Pippa talked to each other. She's cool about it. It's all good. Her management company sent me a step-by-step list, which I called it a packet because I've worked in corporate environments. But they sent me a step-by-step list on how to apologize for it. And, you know, I don't work for FaZe. But I apologized in my own way. And then I left it at that. And they all hate me anyway. And that's fine, dude. I get it.
Why would you apologize? You didn't do anything.
I apologized in my own way.
Was it more out of respect for Pippa that you apologized? Yes. Okay.
Well, I already apologized to Pippa through DM, so that was kind of irrelevant at that point.
So let's back up really quick, because there's some people in the chat who say, I don't even know what a VTuber is. What is a Pippa? Right? Like what it so okay, so FaZe Connect, let's start here. FaZe Connect is this, it's a brand that finds creators, I guess, online, and then they create a virtual avatar, right, of people like this. And as opposed to you or I talking on camera, they have a virtual representation of themselves that they see, right? And they may look like this, right? They could look like Dizzy Dokuru or whoever, right? And Pippa happens to be one of these that was created through FaZe Connect. And this has been growing over the last 2, 3, 4 years.
Yes.
And there's a very strong audience for this right now.
The stronger the audience, the more insane it can be. Right. And basically what it boils down to, and look, I know not all the viewers are like this because people are all, you're attacking. No, I'm not. But basically, when you read the message boards and whatnot, the viewers that are watching this, they're like in parasocial relationships with these characters. They think that they're in love with these characters, and the reason they like these characters is because they believe that they're whatever their character is, but in real life they're not, right? So, for example, there was one where I forget the character's name, but like there was a thread about her, and all these dudes were talking about how like they were in love with her, and the main driving factor that they were in love with her was because she was 12 years old. That was the entire point. They're like, oh my God, dude, I think that she could be anywhere from 12 to 14, like, which just makes me so like excited and like hard. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So now look, that's not all these people, obviously, but there's a subset of them like that. So,
of course. And
when you introduce stuff like that, like parasocial and stuff, it makes everything way scarier because, dude, somebody can watch me and be like, I like Camelott's content. And that's pretty much as far as it goes. Look, there's people that I've been swatted. You know, I've had that shit happen. We've all been there. People get angry at us for whatever reason, but they don't like think they're in a weird parasocial relationship where they're in love with this creator they've never met, and they have ideas for them. With VTubers, you can apply any character or personality trait in your head you want to these people. So like if I like looked at Pippa and I'm like, well, I don't know this, but Pippa might like, mid-30s dudes, and she might like buff dudes, and she might like dudes that have this weird personality trait, and she likes all those things. So she's perfect for me. I'm perfect for her. We're perfect together. And then like when people start dogging on Pippa, I will do anything I can to defend her online. I'll message people and tell them I'm going to come to their house and like stomp their skull in, shoot their address to them. Like I've had people messaging me my address and Google Maps and shit saying they're coming, and I'm like, bro, I posted my address publicly. Like I got a 12 gauge and an AR. I ain't worried about your ass. And they're not going to do anything. They're not going to leave their house. They're too stuck to their chair right now, physically and mentally. Just so I'm not worried about that.
Let me back up a little even further here, right? Because I feel like we're kind of. I'm still not following here. I think a lot of people. So this is Pippa,
yeah,
right? This is the VTuber. And nobody knows what she looks like, right? In real life. That's the idea, is that this is a person who is this is just somebody who is a voice and a personality with an avatar. And you notice like as Pippa, the avatar, is playing, there's like different you can change the way they look, right? So her hair changes. Now she has bunny ears on, right? And so do they ever say, hey, this is a 12-year-old girl, or this is it's just whatever you think it should be?
No, they never that's the idea. So that brings us full circle. They are contractually prevented from even giving any kind of inkling from what they may look like or where they are in real life, right? So me posting a picture apparently broke that rule where people now might have an idea of what Pippa looks like, even though it's not Pippa.
Okay,
right?
So going back to the tweet, so people watch this, right? They watch her playing. This is her stream from last night, and for all we know, we're assuming that Pippa is a girl, right? It could be a guy with a voice mod on, right? Could be potentially, right?
Good. Yeah,
right. But so then you put a tweet out saying, "Hey, this is definitely this is definitely not Pippa. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Type of thing." And that's kind of the joke. And then her fans were like, "Yo, what the hell? That could potentially maybe be Pippa." And and that's what upset them. I'm still kind of lost on the fans were upset that you made a joke about it not being Pippa, right? And anybody who realistically can look at this knows that was the inflection on the joke, right?
Yeah.
And then Pippa was like, hey, like the agency got upset at you for the tweet about how this may not be Pippa, or this is. My brain doesn't function like this. I'm just trying to figure out the controlling aspect of this. This seems really messed up.
Yeah. So basically, what she was doing when she tweeted it was she wanted to get out in front of it before her management saw it, or if they had already seen it. So her quote tweeting that saves her from knowingly being involved in it, right? So she quote tweets it, and now to her management company, it looks like, okay, well, she said don't post stuff like this. She's obviously doing what she needs to do. If she ignored it, her management company might see it and be like, what the fuck is this, motherfucker? Why'd you not tell us about this? Stuff like that. Now, the kicker is she did a stream with me. Otherwise, this would have never happened, right? So she did a stream with me. It was an awesome stream. We had a lot of fun. And we've poked at each other on Twitter for months, right? We do it all. She does it to me. I do it to her. And a lot of people on the message board say that I'm a thirsty simp or something because I fucking reply to her tweets and she replies to mine, which I do with all my friends. But whatever. They just see it as me trying to have sex with her or having sex with her, which is the cardinal sin because she's supposed to be a virgin, right? Her character.
Well, is that implied, or is that something that she says?
That's something it's her character.
Okay.
She's a virgin, pure bunny lady that's based. And she's great, dude. She's a great entertainer. She's really, really good at it. But that being said, it's just there's a lot that goes into it. It's like it's breaking the illusion, right? And it brings all these people back to reality for like a second, which is dangerous because they,
So
pay
going
pig.
back, going back to the WWE analogy, right? This is like in the 80s where Vader's walking around, right? Or the Undertaker's walking around and someone's like, hey, hey, you're everything you do is fake. And they go, oh, really? Is this fake? And then Vince McMahon shows up and, they bust out the fans' kneecaps because like, this is not fake, whatever. That's kind of what's happening here, I guess.
Yeah. It's kind of the same thing. Yeah. It's just the thing I think's weird about it is, like I said, me and Pippa poke fun at each other all the time. I mean, she's posted me in like a thong, like quote tweeted a thong picture of me or posted one and like laughing about it. It's funny. Who cares? But I did not know, like I had no idea, like that weird aspect of the VTuber community, right, was like untouchable. And every VTuber I've ever interacted with was super like based. Whatever the definition of based is, like what we think it is. Like they were based. So I didn't realize that they couldn't be joked about. Kind of like, like they're like LGBTQ or something. I didn't, because you can't joke about that shit apparently. And I was like, well, I did not know that they were a protected class of people. I had no idea. I thought we could just fuck around with each other because that's what we do. And it went over the top. And yeah, I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed the process. I thought it was fun to like see it all happening. But it sucks because I know Pippa doesn't really care. She's like whatever, but she can't be my friend anymore in public because of face. Because they'll be like, what the fuck you doing? Don't talk to that motherfucker ever again. We'll fire your ass. Probably is what they said.
But I still don't like, is the idea that you said ruining the illusion, like the idea that they feel that if somebody, it's going back to, have you heard of the YouTuber Dream? He took his mask off. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Right. Is that the idea? Is that if people actually knew what Pippa looked like, they probably wouldn't like Pippa? Or if they or VTuber X or whoever it was, if they knew who they actually were in real life, would they not like who they are? I mean, I'm still trying to.
Well, it's the fact that no matter what Pippa looks like, Pippa could be the hottest woman on earth. The issue is she's not a 12-year-old virgin bunny. That's the whole thing. It doesn't matter what she looks like. So, yeah, if anybody had any inkling of what she might look like, there's entire threads that have been going on since she was around that are dedicated to finding what she looks like.
So like, but okay. So Sizzy Max says there's difference between messing around with VTubers and potentially destroying their careers by posting fake docs. I don't understand how this is a docs though. Like
it's not. But that's what I'm saying. What people fail to understand is, obviously it's a joke. We all understand that. When Lumi or whatever told me to kill myself online and she got banned from Twitter, I also thought that was a joke, but she still got banned, right? So there's consequences. I didn't know the VTuber community. People keep on saying over and over, well, there's a difference. And I didn't fucking know. So like you can use that, you can say that over and over to me, and I'm still gonna be like, this is a joke. I didn't know. I'm not part of your community. I don't work for people over there. I'm not a VTuber. I don't answer to those rules, and I don't answer to the schizos that are pissed off about it. They can eat my ass. Like so, like either take the joke face value or stop worrying about it. And the issue is, if your defense is, well, it could potentially ruin her career, then you understand and you're acknowledging how awful and predatory these companies are to their creators. Otherwise, you can't use that. You can't use that defense. Either A, FaZe is gay, or B, it's a joke. Pick one. That's the only routes you can take. Right. So
I'm intrigued. Like, have you spoke to any of the people who are like your detractors who are like, you just don't get it. You don't get it, Camelott. Have you spoke to them?
Dude, I invited a bunch of VTubers on to tell me what it's about. And I learned a lot. I mean, I understand why it was bad in the first place now. Like I get it now. But I didn't get it at the time. And I can't just erase something and say, now I get it, therefore nothing happened. It still happened. So, and it was still a joke when I did it. So,
Rock says you basically you don't mess around with the idea of someone's physical identity when it comes to VTubing.
Yeah, that's if you look at it very simply, that's basically it. Yeah,
right.
And simply put, dumb white Alabama trailer man had no idea. And I'm so shocked that
Alabama trailer man didn't know. Trolls go out there and post all these photos. It's
Right.
not your responsibility to say what these random people on the internet do. Like, how can that affect
Yeah.
someone?
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
I mean, yeah, like that goes without saying though. Like,
I think VTubers are incredibly dumb. Like this whole fake persona thing. You can just do that with a real, like, just be on camera and have a fake persona, if anything.
yeah,
Seriously, Pippa could be like a really fat, like 80-year-old dude.
possible.
You
Yeah,
don't know.
very possible.
That's
But-
wild. And people are simping for this. Like, you don't even know if this person's real. You don't even know what this person looks like.
Well,
Get
the
your heads
issue
checked.
is the why people get angry about it is these creators bring in so much revenue, and so many people spend thousands and thousands of hours of their time dedicating like their personal, like, casual time to these characters. So I get it. Like, they get real angry no matter what. I can say all day I didn't understand it, and I've talked to FaZe, talked to Pippa. We're all cool, and they still don't give a fuck. They're like, yeah, fuck you, fuck yeah, and I'm like, oh, well, it's over, and they're like, fuck yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, like, it's over. But I get it. Like, when you spend all this time, like, casually watching these characters, getting involved in their lives that aren't real, you devote all that time to it. If anybody is messing with that, it's gatekeeping, right? Like, if anybody messes with that, you get angry because you don't want it to be disturbed or disrupted. So I get it. I totally get that shit. But you know, that nothing you can do about it.
We have several like VTubers in our chat right now who are saying like, you just don't get it. Okay. And that's fine. That's fine. I like, look, I'm a 42-year-old guy. I can't imagine that I necessarily would get it. But with that said, you need to understand the perspective of the outside looking in at this situation, right? Like, you're saying you just don't get what it's like to be a VTuber or the anonymity attached to it. I get it. I do understand that, right? If somebody wants to go out and create an online persona for them while not supplying their face, their likeness, whatever, hey, awesome. I have no problem with that. But from the outside looking in, right? Those who are like, are you so entrenched in the VTuber community that looking at it from the out, that you can't understand what it's like looking at it from the outside in, and say like, this is kind of insane. Like, it's crazy that you did have a relationship with her before, right? You did have her, you had her on the show.
Yeah.
But just like I said, like Blab says, you can't prevent anybody. You know, if Blabs wanted to go out and post a picture of, you know, a duck and put a picture on it and be like, hey, it's Pippa, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just saying, like, you can't stop the internet from doing the internet. And I feel like that's kind of what they're trying to protect, right? The internet is this ability to do whatever you want and meme and all this. And I feel like the idea that like a company would be upset about that is kind of silly. If you enjoyed that clip, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Would greatly appreciate that, so you can find more clips on the channel. And of course, come join us live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time for our live Side Scrollers podcast. We would love to see you there.